Hello world, my name is Z, or you can call me Mr. Z. I am a web developer and I am also a consultant at Z World Webs. My one goal is to develop custom websites that are specifically catered to your organization's needs. I completely understand that building a website is an exhilarating, exciting, and significant step in connecting with your audience. Your organization has Z potential to make a meaningful impact, whether it's supporting animal rights, advocating for equality, combating human trafficking, or honoring the brave individuals who have served our country. Your mission is too important to be held back by the challenges a website can present, and I am here to ensure that your website works for you, not against you. Whether it's maintaining, developing, or redeveloping a custom website that is specifically catered to your needs. And with that being said, I would be more than delighted to learn more about your organization and, of course, develop a website Z World is waiting for.
Warning, the brown cloud is approaching. Some will try to outrun it. Others may not be so lucky. But don't worry, it's all part of the fun at the Chili Cook-Off for books and board games. Where the chili is hot, the flavors are bold, and Bear E has your back with the official Brown Cloud Preparedness Kit. Follow the plan, know your exits, and whatever you do, hold your breath, because this temporary pain is all for a great cause.
Born into a real fight wasn't right. Where can she dream here? Took a hold of her life, left at night, stepping out of her fear. Bring me home, out alone.
And good evening, everyone. Welcome to Community Pay It Forward. Welcome to Community Impact. My name is Zach Clayton. I am the president and founder of Community Pay It Forward, the Come Together Compass Impact Podcasting Networks. We have a wonderful show tonight. We're going to be talking to one of our, matter of fact, she is our newest member, Robin Gillier, and she's going to be telling us a little bit about the light within all of us and grounding and some of the small changes we can make to make our health better and to, just little changes that can go a long way. And we all know that there are certain things that we can do in life that just make things go better. And we don't need a rocket scientist to tell us this stuff. But having somebody to coach us, having somebody to help us, and keep us accountable, I think is the biggest thing. Having somebody keep us accountable and make sure that we're doing this for our own benefit is a wonderful thing to have. And Robin is brand new to our family, and she is more than willing to help you out. She'll be coming up here in about 15-20 minutes. So we are working right now on a lot of changes, and one of these changes is the homepage. And if you go to communitypayitforward.us, once again, that is communitypayitforward.us, you will see a redesigned homepage. Now, just to let you know, we are expecting the home or the website to go offline for a little bit so they can make some repairs. Um, it should be over by tomorrow around noon, is what I'm told, hopefully. So if you turn it over and the website's gone, please just keep checking. It'll be back by noon tomorrow. Um, but one of the things that we need you to do is be a beta tester for us. I need you to go and check out communitypayitforward.us. Look at that homepage. Does it make sense to you? Do you understand the program a little bit better? Is this easier for you to recognize what the program, what the process is? And if so, or if not, can you please tell us what else we could do to make it happen? We need to get this up and running, folks. This is the easiest way for any of us to take and donate to causes that we personally love. And that's one of the most important parts of this program, is that we're not telling you who to love. We're asking you, who do you love? Oh my God, I just got Thorogood in my head, and I'm regretting that. Funny story about that. George Thorogood, many of you guys are going to know who he is, but sings a lot about drinking. And I had a really good friend of mine once who looked at me, and this is back in my heavy drinking days. He goes, "You've got to be the only drunk I know that does not like Thorogood." I never did like Thorogood. Kind of funny. I didn't really like Jimmy Buffett either. I don't think I liked a lot of people who drank a lot, or who sang a lot about drinking. Why would you sing about it when you could just do it? I guess was my my whole deal. Glad that part of my life is no longer with us. One of the other things that we're doing to make the program clearer and more understandable is we have put out a new one-page document which says everything but even better than our booklets ever could have. And this is what that document looks like. And this evening, what we're going to do to begin this podcast is I'm going to talk about what you're looking at. Okay, this is our giving partner family. Many of you, for since the beginning, we've been talking about platinum partners and gold partners and all of that. They're gone. Okay, I understand that they were confusing. It didn't make a whole lot of sense, partly because you know what, gold, platinum, palladium, and anybody who knows metals and the value of metals understands that, you know, there's times that palladium is worth more than platinum. But we had that as our second tier. So it didn't make any sense. Okay. But so we've switched that, and we will be explaining that here in just a little bit. And I think I sure did bring up the wrong one. So let me go on ahead and fix that while we're doing this. But yeah, we do have everything fixed now. And hopefully it's going to be easier for you to understand. It's going to be easier for you to share with people. And it's going to be easier for you to get started with us today and make sure that every time that you go out to make a purchase of any kind, whether it's coaching, whether it's you know, a website, or I see where they did it. Okay. Whether it's coaching, whether it's websites, whether it's last week with Len's Day, tarot reading, or as we are going to be talking about today, maybe some yoga or light and grounding work with our new friend Robin. Anytime you make any type of transaction with these great partners, they are going to turn it in to a donation. A portion of your sales are going to go back to us, and we're going to turn 70% of that into a donation. Now, who are we going to give that donation to? I don't know. You tell us. We have people in this program who ask us for help. Hey, Zach, we run this organization. This is what we do. And we would really appreciate it if we could be listed as one of your mission partners and we could get your assistance, maybe raising awareness, one, and most importantly, awareness, but also maybe raising a little bit of money. We say yes. And they become a mission partner, and you have a chance to make things happen with them. So let me go on ahead and share this now. And here we go. Wow, that is tiny. That is better. Can I get to this one, please? Having all kinds of problems, as you can see here, folks. Sorry about that. But this is a very, very simple program. It's a very simple process. We just need you to work with us and we can make amazing things happen. So this is our new giving partner family. And this isn't simply a membership program. It isn't a simple business directory. And it isn't simply another marketing opportunity. It's a way to connect businesses, and this is the part for the businesses out there, okay? So all of you wonderful businesses out there, if you would like to join our family, we would love to have you. I'm going to talk as if I'm talking to a business that is out there. So please understand that if you would like to share this with other business owners, this is exactly for them. So I'm going to talk to you today through our Giving Partner Guide, panel by panel. It's a way to connect businesses, community, customers, and causes in a way that allows everyday transactions to become opportunities of impact. I want you to understand what each section means. I want you to understand how the program works. I want you to understand what the different giving partners each level represents. But most importantly, I want you to understand why we built this. Because the heart of Community Pay It Forward has always been very simple. Choose giving partners anywhere, lift mission partners, and people with needs everywhere. It doesn't matter where they're at. Online shopping has allowed all of us to do business with others, no matter where they're at in this crazy world. It's allowed us to take and reach out to people that we've never had this opportunity before. Could you imagine? I mean, I just sit there and I think about people like even my parents years ago. They couldn't take and shop with people in other places without like the JCPenney catalog. You know, this is like creating this is like giving people a JCPenney catalog with heart. And we love it. So, but we would like to begin today, and we're going to start here with panel 1. And the first panel is where everything begins. At the top, you'll see the Community Pay It Forward logo and the words "Join the Family." We aren't asking for businesses simply to become members. We're inviting them to become part of our family. A family of businesses and people who believe that what we do for one another matters. This panel we created to show how much together we can care for others. We can truly make a difference when we work together. Hopefully, this inspires you to get people to come together. The biggest idea is that when we put our hands, our businesses, our resources, and our hearts together, we can create something bigger than any one of us could create alone. And that right there is the message of this panel. Choose giving partners anywhere so we can lift mission partners everywhere. That's our foundation. That's our goal. That is our mission. A customer can choose a giving partner. They can find you when you are what they're looking for. That giving partner becomes part of a system that helps support people who need help. These mission partners, the ones who are asking for help, they're doing work in our communities. They either have fallen on hard times themselves, or they're here because at one point in time they fell on hard times and they want to help people navigate past the holes that they once fell in. This is the first step in this process. And the goal is very simple, folks. To all you business owners out there, our goal is to make sure that you are in this program. Because when you're in this program and people are looking for your goods or services, if they find you on Google, that's wonderful for you. And I am very happy that they found you. But guess what Google does not do? Google does not support anyone else. If they find you on Community Pay It Forward, we have ensured that someone else is going to get to stand up because of your business. Because of a transaction you made, someone is going to benefit. And that's because we have come together to make a partnership happen. Look, we're not asking everyone to do everything. We're simply not. We're asking each person to do their part. The Community Pay It Forward program just simply connects those parts. You'll also see the story. And the story really is quite simple. I was in a motorcycle accident on August 14th of 2014, 12 years ago. I walked away from that experience with a very simple belief. And it's the foundation of everything that we do here in Community Pay It Forward. It's that no one should face hard times alone. When there's people who are out there who have dealt successfully with those hardships, when we walk together, when we navigate positions together, we can do anything. No one should face hard times alone when we can all be here. And no one needs to go it alone when we all come together. And the best thing about this is, folks, we're not asking you to do any additional damage to your wallet. Not all good acts should have to do with they shouldn't have to hurt your wallet. We're not asking people to join a membership. We're not asking them to pay up to do this. It doesn't cost them $19.95 a month to do this. No. We're asking them to come on and use your business. Be part of a program where They support you so we can support others. Think about that. We all want to help. There's certain people out there that we all want to help. Most people genuinely want to make a difference. But sometimes we make giving sound like it's always including writing a check, opening our wallet, or making another financial sacrifice. If I help this person, I can't feed my kids. That's not an excuse anymore. And not saying that that's an excuse, but that's not something that we have to forego anymore, because we've made it different. We've made it to where people, by simply making a transaction with you, with your business, they now can support someone in need. And it's your customer who gets to decide where that money goes. So that's going to bring in people who support all different things, all different areas, and it's going to make it so much more important. Look, Community Pay It Forward has always looked at giving differently. What if we could create opportunities for people to participate in something positive through things they were already doing? What if the businesses could help someone else? What if we could take and make every business essential? Wouldn't you want your business to become a connection? Don't you want your transactions to have the highest amount of impact? When you sign with Community Pay It Forward, that's what happens. And in panel 2, this panel is extremely important because it takes something that could sound complicated and makes it simple. There are 4 steps: choose, share, give, and impact. Okay? So let's walk through them. Step 1 is choose. A customer chooses a giving partner. This is where they choose you. They choose to use your business. This is the very beginning. The customer decides where they want or need to do business. They come to you because you have already dedicated a portion of your sales to support something they love. This is passion. This is heart. This is humanity that's talking, that's creating great things out of what you already do. They may already know the business. They may discover the business through Community Pay It Forward. I don't know. Or they may simply decide that they want everyday purchases to have a greater purpose. If we have you in our program, if we get people of all talents to join our program, people never have to leave our website. They can come in. They can continue to make transactions within the website and make sure that all those transactions can make a huge difference. We can turn every day into a day of giving. Look, the biggest thing about this is that this gives the customer a choice. They choose a giving partner simply because they have to get things done. The second step has been specifically designed to make the process clear. We ask him to share the receipt from the transaction, share the invoice from the transaction, share the bill of sale of the transaction. The customer shares whatever you give them that gives the bill of sale. The receipt helps establish the transaction and connects the purchase to the giving partner relationship. It connects a bridge between the customer, the business, and community pay it forward. It's as simple as that. If they have a receipt from your business, if they have an invoice from your business, we know that they came to you through us with the specific goal to support others. Step 3 is give. Because this is when you, as the giving partner, this is when you send us a small referral for that sale. This is where you as a business partner, you participate. This is really the only thing that you do different than you do every day. And this is important because this is the lifeblood of this whole program. We're not asking the business to carry the entire burden of supporting a cause. We're creating a system where a small referral connected to a business and a business activity can become part of something much larger. Just a small referral, whether it's a 10%, whether it's a set amount. 10%, $10. We're going to do a certain percentage out of every package sold. Whatever it is. It's always going to be there. It's going to be consistent. It's not going to hurt you. Most importantly, it's going to benefit others. And then the final step, step 4, impact. This is when we get to the reason why we're all doing this. Impact. At least 70% of that referral is directed to the mission partner selected by the customer. So let's take a look at what just happened. A customer chooses a business. They share the receipt with us. The giving partner provides a referral. And that referral becomes support for a mission partner. That's it. That's the pay it forward connection right there in a whole. Those 4 very simple steps. And now we've turned a transaction into support. That's the pay it forward connection. And underneath those 4 steps is a message I want every giving partner to understand. Your customer pays nothing more. Their heart, not their wallet, decides who gets helped. This is a very different way of thinking about giving. It's a very simple way to give. The journey of this goes from customer to giving partner to community pay it forward to the mission partner. That is the 4 partners, the 4 corners of how this works. Think about how powerful that chain can become. The customer creates the beginning. The business creates the opportunity. Community pay it forward creates the connection. And the mission partner gets to continue doing what they do every day to support people in need. People who are failing. People who are struggling and people who they can help stand back up. Everyone has a role. Nobody has to do it alone. On the third panel, the giving family. Our giving partners we don't want them to all be the same business. We want them to be different. We want to have people from every type of business out there, all different sizes. We need them to have different resources. Your goals, your own personal goals, are very important to the program. We don't ask you to be like anyone else. Your differences, your individuality is important to us, because your individuality is what makes this a better program. So we created 4 levels. And I want you to think about these levels not simply as prices. Think of them as steps in a journey. You can begin from where you are, and you can grow from there. Start as a seedling, the first level, seedling. And the seedling starts at as little as $20 a month. Look, and I love this name because every movement has to start from the beginning. It has to start from somewhere. Every garden starts from a seed. We're trying to grow something special. We have planted our seed. We want you to grow in our garden, with our garden. We want this to be something that can feed many, support many. We can do this together. That seed, it represents potential. Something at the very beginning. We're not looking for you to become enormous on day one. We simply want to offer you the right environment to begin. As a seedling, we just ask that you're ready to change lives and make an impact. This level gives businesses an opportunity to step into giving partner family and begin participating. I'm ready to be part of this. And sometimes that first step is the most important step. The second level is community. The community is at $55 per month. It's the heart of the mission. It's exactly what the level represents, because community isn't built by one person. It's built by one business. It isn't built by one business. It's built by people deciding that they need to belong together. The community level gives a business more opportunity to become visible and more deeply connected within the program. It's about participation, connection, and becoming part of a larger network. The third package is Catalyst. The Catalyst level is at $85 per month, with energy that helps to spark change. What is a catalyst? It's energy. It's the energy that will spark change. That's what we're asking you to be. We're asking you not just to become simply a participant. We're asking you to help us create momentum. This level provides you with greater visibility, greater storytelling opportunity, and a greater participation in community pay-it-forward ecosystem. And then, of course, we get to our upper package, which is the Impact Pioneer. The Impact Pioneer level is $145 a month. This is for those who are out there who are bold, invested, and shaping what comes next. They are the ones that help us really further the program the most. Every package is important. It does not matter which package you are in, because guess what? We're going to try as hard for you as we do for anyone else. Our goal is your success. This is the highest giving partner level and provides the greatest visibility, the greatest storytelling, promotional and participation opportunities with an automatic sponsorship to all of our events and so much more. One level is not better because the business is better. When you join us, your business is better. It makes your business better because everyone needs you to be in this program. As a seedling, you are so valuable. A community partner, you're valuable. A catalyst, so valuable. And an impact pioneer, you are also very valuable to us and to others out there. That's why you are family, not just a partner, you are family. I also want to tell you this right now. I say family a little bit different than other businesses. You know, sometimes they use the word family and they cheapen it. See, I come from a world where family is very important. In the biker world, our family is everything. Family by choice is as thick as family by blood. You join us in this motion, in this movement, you become an extremely important part of our movement. The panel 4, partner benefits at a quick glance. Now we're going to look at what the different giving partners actually provide. The panel allows business owners to compare the 4 levels side by side. And you'll notice something important. As the level increases, so does the opportunity for visibility and storytelling. The seedling level establishes your presence. The community level expands that presence. The catalyst level provides more premium visibility and promotional opportunities. And the impact pioneer level provides the highest level of exposure and participation. That includes things such as website presence, profile information, mission partner connections, promotional opportunities, storytelling, social media exposure, media opportunities, and other benefits associated with the different levels. But I want to make something very clear. The purpose isn't simply pay more and get more advertising. I hate the word advertising. The bigger purpose is become more deeply involved in the community impact ecosystem, because the more you become, the more opportunities we have to tell your story. And your story matters. Because people want to know who they're doing business with. They want to know what a business stands for. They want to know whether that business cares about something beyond a transaction. Community Pay It Forward gives businesses an opportunity to communicate that. In the panel 5, we talk about the website, communitypayitforward.us. That's communitypayitforward.us, and the upcoming app in action. Yes, at one point in time, the app was released, but we've had to take it off the market for a little bit to get it finished. I need a volunteer who understands apps. This is something that you could become part of the program by helping us understand and get the app updated and ready for other people. So communicate with me if that's something that sounds like you would be able to do. So once again, the Community Pay It Forward website, communitypayitforward.us, and the growing app. The website is the primary platform for helping supporters discover giving partners. It provides businesses with a place where their story, information, and connection can all be found. This is important because visibility doesn't happen only when someone walks through your front door. People search, people research, people look at websites, people compare businesses, and increasingly, people want to understand what a business stands for. The Community Pay It Forward platform gives us a place to tell that story. Then there's the app. The hope for the app, which is still growing and expanding, is designed to become another way for supporters to find giving partners, discover opportunities, and track impact. And when you put the website and app together, you begin to see something much bigger. We're building an ecosystem, a place where businesses can be discovered, where support can be found, and where supporters can find opportunities, where stories can be told, and where community impact can continue to grow. Why should you become a giving partner? Well, now we come to the question where every business owner should ask. Why should I become a giving partner? First answer I can think of very simply is customer loyalty. People want their purchasing to mean something. They want to know that every time that they purchase something, it means something. Well, that's what this means. When they know their business can help create impact, they can create a deeper relationship between the customer and the business. The second point is built-in marketing. Giving partners have an opportunity to be promoted through Community Pay It Forward platforms, campaigns, storytelling, and other program opportunities based on their level. The third is a big one, community trust. When a business becomes part of a program focused on giving back, it communicates something. It says, we believe our business should be part of your community, no matter where your community is. Fourth, purpose drives business. Everyday business does not have to be disconnected from purpose. The two can work together. And fifth, global impact. This is one of the most important ideas in our program. A giving partner does not have to be located next door to a mission partner to care about that mission partner. Support can cross geographic boundaries. A customer can choose a mission partner that matters to them, and a business can participate in making that support possible. So we're connecting local businesses with a broader purpose. Slide number 7. Are you ready? Are you ready to join the family? At this point, we've walked through the entire program. We've talked about the heart. We've talked about the process. We've talked about the giving family. We've talked about the benefits. We've talked about the website and the app. We've talked about why a business might want to become involved. Now, we simply ask, are you ready to join the family? Because that's really what this is. We're not looking for businesses that simply want another logo on a website. We're looking for businesses that want to be part of something special, something that connects people and that creates opportunities, something that helps mission partners, people who are out there and taking their story and turning it into miraculous, beneficial support for others. Something that gives customers another reason to believe that where they spend their money can truly matter. And if you want to learn more, that's where I come in. I am Zach Clayton. You can call me, but I would prefer if you text me first. 970-692-1151. Once again, that's 970-692-1151. I prefer that you call me first because I do have a head injury, which means I'm deaf in my right ear. And if I am in a busy place, I cannot answer the phone. So if you text me first, we can set up a time where I can be in a quiet place and I can pay attention to what you're trying to tell me. Because if I'm in a place with a lot of movement, a lot of noise, I can't hear you. And I owe it to you to be very, very present during our conversation. You can also email me. Email me at zak@communitypayitforward.us. That's zak@communitypayitforward.us. You can always visit the website, communitypayitforward.us. And if you mess up and accidentally hit .com, don't worry about it. We got you covered. communitypayitforward.us. Look, I'd love to talk to you. No pressure to you. I don't want to sell you something you don't need. Let's just have a conversation. Look, this is about trying to improve your business and trying not to, we're not wanting you to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to do it. Join a program, network with others, turn that networking into true impact. That's Community Pay It Forward. And on the closing panel, you'll see the hands, the heart, the message. Choose a giving partner anywhere. Lift mission partners everywhere. Your business, their mission, one community. That's what this is all about. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the entire concept in 3 lines. Your business matters. Your customers matter. The mission partners matter. The community matters. When we connect those pieces, something happens. A customer makes a purchase, a business makes a connection. A referral is created. A mission partner receives support, and someone, somewhere, who may be facing a difficult moment gets to know they're not alone. I'm sorry, but that's beautiful. And that's the part that matters. Because Community Pay It Forward isn't really about the transaction. It's about the transaction that become. It's not about a transaction. It's about what a transaction can become. It can become support, connection. It can become opportunity. It can become hope. And that's where we keep coming back to the same message. Choose giving partners anywhere. Lift mission partners everywhere. So that's Community Pay It Forward. That's the giving partner family. 4 levels. 1 mission. Seedling, community, catalyst, impact pioneer. 4 different ways for businesses to participate, but one common purpose: to make it easier for people to do something good without feeling like doing something good's always got to hurt financially. Because not all good action have to hurt your wallet. Sometimes good starts with a choice. A choice where your business, who you want to support, and whether your business is going to simply be another transaction, or whether it can be part of something much bigger. That's what we're building. A community where businesses can thrive, where customers can participate, and where mission partners can receive support, and where people don't have to go it alone. Because when we all come together, we can do more than any one of us can do apart. I am Zach Clayton. Thank you for your time learning about Community Pay It Forward and the Giving Partner family. And remember, choose giving partners anywhere. Lift mission partners everywhere. Your business, their mission, one community. It is now time, thank you very much, but it's now time to meet the newest giving partner in our program, somebody who's brand new to this whole concept. I love this conversation. This conversation had a lot in it that I understood because of what my wife does. So this was a great time for me. I truly did enjoy this. And I hope you do too. So when we get back, we are going to be, again, talking to our brand new giving partner from My Way Home.
Every day, someone in our community is facing a challenge they shouldn't have to face alone. Your business can change that. When you join the Community Pay It Forward family, your kindness becomes action, and your sales becomes hope. For as little as $20 a month, you help guide families, nonprofits, and neighbors from crisis to stability. One small step, one powerful mission, one community coming together. Join the family today. Visit the website or scan the code and become a business where people can shop with purpose and support with heart.
Hey friends, I've been thinking, we all have our strengths, right? There are things I'm great at and things I'm definitely not great at. I can talk to anyone, anywhere, but ask me to add something to a website or an app. Yeah, that's where things get a little messy. Oops, I love speaking, I love sharing stories. But social media, all those hashtags, algorithms, trends, that's a jungle I still haven't mapped out. Now, coming up with ideas that bring people together, that's my sweet spot. But bookkeeping, let's just say numbers, and I have agreed to stay in separate corners. And you know what? That's okay, because someone out there is good at those things. And when we work together, that's when the magic happens. Community Pay It Forward has never been about one person. It's a program built by many to support even more. Every single one of us brings something special to the table. We all have talents that make us strong on our own. But imagine how powerful we become when we combine them. That's the heart of Community Pay It Forward. Your skills, my skills, our hearts, working side by side to make a real difference. So tell me, what are you good at? Let's discover it together. Visit communitypayitforward.us and join the movement.
Warning, the brown cloud is approaching. Some will try to outrun it. Others may not be so lucky. But don't worry, it's all part of the fun at the Chili Cook-Off for books and board games. Where the chili is hot, the flavors are bold. And Bear E has your back with the official Brown Cloud Preparedness Kit. Follow the plan. Know your exits, and whatever you do, hold your breath, because this temporary pain is all for a great cause. Join us, laugh with us, survive the brown cloud, together at Key Largo Lounge in Greeley.
Join us November 8th at 11 a.m. for the 10th annual Chili Cook-Off for books and board games at our home field, Key Largo Lounge, where our small market team is making a huge statement. Scan the code for tickets and sponsorship information. How you doing? Thank you for joining us tonight for Community Impact, and we are very, very proud to introduce Robin Gillier, and with My Way Home. And I love that name, and I mentioned that to you. You actually have a lot of people who don't get that at first, right?
I do, yeah.
So, and the reason I say that is because she is a guide when it comes to different things, but mainly is it that you just focus on the yoga and breathing and just aspects of health that way, or is there more to it?
There's definitely more to it. So when I started My Way Home, it was born out of being a yoga teacher for a long time. And what I learned from all those years was just sort of what it means to presence myself, right? And how the breath supports that. And also then with that presence and that mind-body connection, how the body can kind of come online and help integrate overthinking patterns and stagnant emotions, and how when we kind of bring it all together, yoga for me as a practitioner, but also someone who practices yoga, helped me really understand what being present means from an embodied point of view. And so My Way Home kind of felt like that to me, in terms of like that primordial sound, and also just total resonance and kind of what it means to be fully present with yourself, and then also with the universe, sort of like it's all connected. So I feel like nowadays I get more people who point out that's a really interesting name for a business, and I appreciate that, because I think we're all opening up into, it's very personal, but personal new understandings or new expressions of what it means to be human and multidimensional, and like how do we tap into all of these aspects of who we are. And so that's kind of the basis of it. But that's not all that I do. There's a lot more that is built off of that foundation for me. But that was my springboard into everything that I do now.
We will get completely into everything that you do. But I think one of the first things that I want to ask with that question, are there people out there who are trying to do things like teach others yoga without practicing it themselves?
I wonder. I think that's a great question. I don't know the answer. I mean, I think that the yoga teachers I know and have encountered in my life, a lot of them did the training just to know for themselves what it means and to enhance their own personal practices. And a lot of teachers, you're kind of immersed in it. And when you're teaching it in studios or with private clients, or you're bringing yoga forward in that way, you do kind of like any kind of classroom teacher, any kind of educator, you're witnessing other people's experiences, and it's informing your instruction. So I do think that, yes, I think, yes, people, so they're enhancing their teaching, but it's also informing themselves at the same time. So I feel like for the most part, at least for me, it's like a symbiotic thing. It's helped me understand like why I do it and why I want to keep doing it, but then also like how to keep that evolving eye on the practice and what people are coming in with, because that, I think, especially over the last 15 years, particularly with like sort of like recognizing the title of my business, what I think we're all kind of trying to better understand who we are.
I like that, understand. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
As a teacher, how often is it that when you are walking somebody through something, that you find something you've never seen before, felt before, discovered before? How often does that still happen? Or is this pretty much something that is almost routine in your life, to where there's not a lot of mystery left in it, but it's, so it's, harder to find something new?
Yeah, that's a great question. Okay, so my inclination is just what comes to my mind. It's like we brush our teeth every day, and we do it because we value that level of self-care. And there's, the routine is the discipline, and the discipline is the self-care. If we paused to think about why we do it and what the impact is, we might then change the routine around it, or reflect on it, or appreciate that we have it in place. So yoga's kind of like that for me. It's like there's so much of it that I have a lot of one-on-one clients, and then I have like classes too. So I feel like I try to connect to what people are coming in with, and what their experience is, and what their experience is different than. So I try to stay clean, because I don't want to project what I think they're supposed to get from it. So keeping myself neutral and clean feels like a part of the practice too. And then also my own body is changing. I'm not the same person I was 20, 25 years ago, and I don't have the same athletic goals as I did 20 to 25 years ago. So I prefer something gentler, slower. Am I even doing it? Do I even have a regular practice? When I do I have the stamina? What feels hard? Can I come back to breathing? So there's kind of this continual exploration involved in understanding that it's a returning home, and a returning to commitment to just breathing and being, and that the exercise aspect of it is sort of the byproduct. But I think if I had the same intentions I did 20 years ago, that would be the wrong way to look at it. So I'm having a human experience. I'm evolving through different ages and stages, and I'll be in a different place again in 10 years. And so I try to stay really clean for people who are coming to me for their experience, because I don't know what they need. But if I can feel into it through the breath and through my voice and how they're interpreting what I'm saying, then I'm going to get information that's going to guide what comes next. And I might think, okay, we're going to do this and have this as an intention, but then I'm getting back like, oh, okay, everyone was having a really hard time balancing, and let's kind of explore that a little bit too. So I think it's not always what you think, and I think being open to what it is part of the practice. That if you're setting right, and we plan, God laughs, right? If you're setting expectations, you might be missing the point, or missing the moment, or missing what your body's going to move through intuitively with somebody who can guide you without any expectations at all. And your August body is different than your January body. Your 45-year-old body is different than your 25-year-old body. There's so many things that if you could just sort of gently show up for yourself and let that be enough, then you can kind of decide how deep you can go. And then you kind of, through the experience on the other side, go, okay, I didn't realize I needed that, or this feels so different. And I was able to, then you're able to kind of feel into what happened and how much more embodied you are, and what feels settled and different and new for you.
I know my 55-year-old body would like to go back and kick my 25-year-old body right in the ass, because that 25-year-old body made a lot of decisions that made this 55-year-old body. So he did a lot of damage to this old carriage. But so I definitely know that there's we would have words. Let's put it that way. So. I do know that there are some, and please forgive the mean quote here, but there are some freak of natures that are my age that are out there, and they're still doing wonderful things because of programs like yours. The flexibility, they can still bend over, they can still do all these other things. I'm one of those people that if I sit down in a chair for more than 5 minutes, it takes me 5 more minutes just to stand up, because when I do go to stand up, there's creaking and, stiffness and everything else. How hard would it be for someone like me who's been through all the surgeries and all the poor decisions and not the greatest nutrition in life, how difficult is it for someone like me to come to you, Robin, and start to, not see a change, but start to implement a change?
So if you have a will to try something new, that will is a strong enough surge of energy, of power to work with where you were saying, like, there's frustration and pain and so many reasons why you wouldn't. So if somebody comes with a strong will and we can kind of get into the body and sort of in really gentle ways, then the idea, it's like it's titration. It's small, it's gradual, it's little by little. It's like, you're developing patience and a routine for yourself. So it would be better to do 1 minute 5 days a week than to do 1 day for an hour, because the body your will would diminish, and then you would be up against no will to kind of get back into it. So it's really like you have to bring a loving, patient will to change, right? Rome wasn't built in a day. You have to sort of understand that it probably took you 30 years to get to where you are today. So if that's the case, then you're going to have to give yourself time to feel and recognize and hold a changed state in the body.
That has to do a lot. That statement that you just made has a lot to do with somebody will get there and they'll get that ambition to go out and do an exercise, and they're going to go and they're going to push their body and they're going to do and they wake up the next morning and they can't move because they overdid it. And then the next day there's going to be another excuse. Well, that sucked. That pain was terrible. I'm not going to do it again today, but I'll get up and do it again tomorrow. And 3 months later, you're sitting there going, damn, I was going to work out every day, and now I've worked out once in 3 months. How would you suggest that someone gauge themselves so that doesn't happen? How would you teach someone how to say, hey, that's enough for today. You've got to start. You're moving. You're doing this. Let's back off now so you can get back at this tomorrow.
Yeah, I think that there would need to be a couple of just conversations around, how we maintain suppleness and flow in the body and that state of connection and appreciation, and that there's a lot of actual work around emotions and feelings that correlate to frustration or tolerance for the body and the stiffening and the release of that stiffening in the body. So, and this is really how I've come to expand my work out of movement, because because for me, I've gone through this personally, and also as a mom, it's sort of like, okay, well, we have these constricted states, right? We feel them physically, or we have a disease or some kind of diagnosis of something that impacts how we move, how we think, and how the body feels. And so movement is one of the ways that we can gently come back home, and we can practice establishing or cultivating whether even any discipline is tolerable, right? So that needs to be recognized and known before we can say, okay, well, then this is, we've got 99 things we can do, but I'm going to help you find the one thing we can do, and that's where we're going to start. So if you can park further away from an entrance to a store and take that walk, then that's a start, because you're getting more movement in the body and you're tolerating something you wouldn't have ordinarily tolerated. If we need to stay seated and breathe for 5 minutes and just move the spine and work on posture and breath, that's a building block. It's fine. So there's so many ways that we can discuss and scaffold what we can add in and what feels doable. And then I would be somebody who would just kind of hold you accountable, but then also do it with you until you could do it on your own. And that's part of it.
I'm going to ask you about a couple things that are also part of what you do. And I'm going to do it in like a one-word question. I'd like, if you would please, to give me the description of what it is and then why it's so important. And what I mean is the first word is light.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us why is light important? What does it mean? And why should we focus on that?
Yeah, great question. Okay. So, there's so much I can say about this. It's so big and
you've got all the time you need. So go on ahead.
So there's a pretty big spectrum of light. There's what we see when we look outside, the full spectrum of light that's natural. And there's light that we're exposed to that we don't see, that's in the atmosphere, that's oftentimes non-native to us. So we are living in a time where we're submerged with artificial light, and the body, our biology, was designed to be under natural light. So those are two distinctions. So it's like two-pronged. So I will discuss artificial lights and then pivot to natural light. So we are, in the past, we can say the evolution of light since the light bulb, right? People used to be outside much more during the day. And then when the sun set, there was this honoring of the darkness. And we have these circadian rhythms and cycles that we naturally need to live within. And it was more human nature until not so long ago to have bright days and dark nights. And we needed that yin yang, the way we inhale and exhale, right? We need up, we need down, we need left, we need right, we need light, we need dark, we need breath in, we need breath out. And what's happened with our lifestyle is that we're now under so much artificial light that it's like the body thinks it's daylight all the time. And there's so much I can say about this, but basically, if your circadian rhythm is looking for some kind of rhythm, or if your body is trying to adjust to some kind of signal or timing or state of being through cycles and rhythm, and it's doing that with artificial light instead of natural light, then we are faced with a lot of the diagnoses we are encountering in today's modern age. So it feels really important when we're understanding our health and well-being to bring awareness to how much artificial light exposure we are experiencing during the days. And can you hear me okay? Okay. Oh.
I'm sorry, I'm getting feedback from my microphone, so I muted my plus my dog's outside making a whole bunch of racket. So but yeah, I can hear.
Thought the sound cut out. So okay, pardon me. And so I think if we're exploring our multidimensional selves and also what it means to be healthy and what's going on with our mental state, our biological state, our emotional state, we do have to pay close attention to what our light life is like. Because when we're outside, we're attuned to signals and frequencies that are native to our biology. And that includes the light from the sun, right? The full spectrum lighting, the sounds of the birds, the colors, and all of the rhythms and the synchronicities in nature that we have lost touch with, but they're there. And so when we think about energy and frequency, where do we, a lot of the times where we face stagnation in our biology, in our health, and in our well-being it's like this atmosphere is filled with, our biofield is filled with smog, and we're just trying to find the signal in all the noise. And our light exposure plays a huge part of that. Okay, so we sit in front of a computer, we've got phones, we've got tablets, we're in very close range. We wear glasses, sunglasses. We block the sun, we stay out of it, we choose inside over outside, we're afraid of going outside. So all of this conversation needs to be had, because relative to health, we do need to be outside. We need to be moving our body outside. It's much more healthy for the body to be hiking than to be in a gym inside on a treadmill. And not knocking one or the other, but in terms of the multidimensional impacts and benefits, you're getting the sensory experience for your body to find rhythm, as well as the exercise. So, when we think about light bulbs and LED lighting and sitting all day under really bright lights, the body's rhythms, at the very basic level, again, there's so much I can say, but if your cortisol and melatonin signaling is off, if those rhythms are out of balance, you're probably someone who doesn't sleep well at night, who wakes during the night, has a groggy get up in the morning, or can't get started in the day. So that is so common right now, and people think, oh, I'm just a night owl or blah, 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 blah. But it's actually creating a lot of noise in your system and really impacting your cellular vitality, because you're spending a lot of time and a lot of, really the word is energy, right? Your body's resources that it could be using for repair and reorganization are going toward sustaining a sense of alertness as if it's noon all day and all into the night. So that's just like a baseline explanation of why light is so important. But like from a spiritual standpoint, where do you want to sit? Where do you want to be to really feel a sense of ease? So this is where then like the emotions come into play, because it is really nuanced in terms of where we've lost our senses. Like, do you know the difference between stillness and numbness? Right? So if it's nighttime and it's dark outside, but your LED overhead lighting is on, and you've got the TV blasting and you're eating and on your phone, good on you. However, from a biological and light point of view, you're not signaling the melatonin that will, once it kicks in, will help your body go into that rest and repair state that's so deeply needed during sleep. That's why we do it. And you're not able to recognize the signals of nighttime. And so then the body's not doing the reprogramming and repairing work of nighttime when it wants to. So it takes 4 hours for melatonin to really kick in. So if it's midnight and you're just powering down and then you're trying to shut your eyes and fall asleep, you'll notice that it doesn't happen very easily. And then it's not until 4 a.m. that your deep sleep starts to take hold, which is when the melatonin kicks in. And then lo and behold, the alarm goes off at 6 a.m. and you're like, you can't get up and you're groggy. And so now you're fighting against the wavelengths of melatonin and cortisol, which are completely out of sync with native light and the circadian timing rhythms and signals that support biology, health, and well-being. And then we've got the creaky body, we've got the frustration and the thinking, we've got these anger, these emotions that are kind of governing our day. And then we start to, have behaviors, habits, and choices that are more like poisonous than they are medicinal to us. So it really impacts lifestyle. Is all of this stuff bad? No, look, this is it. We all are part of the modern age. But if we begin to really take stock in how, what our home life is like, the quiet, what we, understanding what rest really is and why it's a form of nourishment and self-care, and recognizing the difference. Look, if you want to sit down and watch a movie and eat chips and stay up till midnight, that's fine, and that's okay. But that's not relaxing, and that's not a choice. And there will be a consequence biologically if that's your pattern every single day. And we have children sitting in front of computers all the time. And that, that's both, then the neurotransmitters are out of whack, right? And we're talking about things like, kids with too much estrogen. And it's like, well, the blue light triggers the estrogen. There's so many impacts on the neurotransmitters, the hormones, all of the signaling. It's creating chaos in the biology. And if there's anything I can say about light, it's that we are bioelectric before we are mechanical. And so all signals to me, our cells and our mitochondria and our biological selves, it's about bandwidth and holding energy and vitality and the ability to be of service and really bring yourself forward into a day, and not spend 80% of the time talking about your sickness, your illness, your medications, your pain, your frustrations, but that you're actually here and that you're able to anchor into who you are. And that ratio might be a little off balance.
Where is the happy medium between being out in the sunlight and risking things like melanoma, skin cancer, and being out there to make sure that you're getting the proper amount of light?
Yeah, it's nuanced because everybody is different. There's a scale called the Fitzpatrick scale. So no matter where, so ancestrally where you were born, how far away or close to the equator you are, that would signal sort of how much sun you can tolerate, so everybody is different. But, if you could watch the sunrise and the sunset, that lighting is so full of infrared and near infrared, and it's just completely healing light. And that early morning rise of the sun, you're getting so much red light with the blue light. And that's going to signal correctly to the cortisol and to the neurotransmitters, and also, blood pressure and regulating so many things in the body. You can't get sunburn if you're sitting outside in the wee hours in the early morning. If you can't, anybody can, but that's not what we're saying. I'm not saying lay out between 12 and 5 and get the sun. That's not, I'm not in the business of sun tanning and sunburn, but, being outside under a tree in the shade or going for a walk at sunset. And, there are many times that we're getting outside for 10 minutes every couple of hours throughout the day. If it's the middle of the summer and it's high heat, you can tolerate being outside for a little bit. And again, everybody is different, so titration is really important. I came to all of this through my own skin cancer. And I thought, I don't know that I agree, because it happened sort of while I was nursing my son, and it was a completely unbelievably stressful time in my life. And then also just under ordinary circumstances, when a mother has a child, it takes a long time to reorganize the hormones and whatever. There's just so many changes that I was going through, my body was going through, yada, yada. And so I thought, no, I'm in a really messed up metabolic state. And that's how it happened. It can't have been from 30 years ago. However, there was the metabolic state. I had to really go back and see what was my life like? What were my sun habits? I wasn't in the sun all the time. I was raised to stay out of the sun. Don't you dare. You're too pale. Da da da. I wore contacts at a very early age. So because the signaling comes onto the skin and in through the eyes, that doesn't mean you stare at the sun. But when you wear glasses or contacts or sunglasses, you're blocking the light going into your eyes. So it is impairing the signaling. If you need sunglasses, wear them. This is not, I'm not an extremist. I'm just trying to explain how we've lost sight of where we need support from nature and being outside. So, from that standpoint, can you get outside in the early morning? That time from the sunrise in that first hour or so in the day, if you can go for an early morning walk or sit outside and have your coffee or just be outside, if it's in the shade, you're getting the benefits. Midday, no, don't go outside for 3 hours in the middle of the sun and burn your skin. That's not what we're saying. But you need to start to have your body, spend time, because the light changes throughout the day too. So part of understanding the way light signaling and your body adjusts to a circadian rhythm is that the body needs to be outside in the morning, in the afternoon, and in the evening at sunset. But if you can start and end your day with sun up and sundown, that's a great way to start. And then add in that early morning time outside, you are well on your way, because the body is just craving this kind of signaling. And imagine that as opposed to waking up and checking emails for an hour and chugging a thing of coffee, and then that's it. You're not even connected to how you're doing and what's going on for you.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that completely makes a lot of sense. And I know that we are in an era right now, as I'm older than you, but this is the generation. I truly believe that this is the generation that we have seen more change in our lives because of technology, because of science, because of everything. We have seen so much change that a lot of it is ignorance and a lot of it is fear that, we don't go outside because we're afraid to do this, yet we know we need to go outside because we, we need this, yet we've got this one thing that's going to substitute for being outside. So there's all this stuff that we've learned and we've heard. Most of it's not true because there is no substitution for sleep. There's no substitution. And yes, I am saying this, and that's going to freak my wife out. There's no substitute for water, and there's no substitute for sunlight and movement and action. So I really appreciate that. And your skin cancer, you're fully recovered from that?
Yep. And I go out in the sun. I don't wear sunglasses. I used to need them. I chose to wean myself off of them. I wear glasses. So I try to, just when I'm outside in the morning, just kind of get the natural light. My coloring is much better than it used to be. I'm not going to go tan unreasonably. I'm a very fair person, but I have more just a natural tan look that's not like pale and sickly. And I also got into this work too because I was sick and I was diagnosed with thyroid disease, and they wanted to take my thyroid and put me on medication for the rest of my life. And again, I thought, when you're in a lot of stress, your metabolic health changes. And I kind of wanted to shake the doctor and say, how come we're not having that discussion? So this was my choice. And I think it was because of all the work I had done with yoga and maybe even just a blessing that I heard this intuitive, just take care of yourself. And so for me, it was sort of how can someone overcome a state of being, right, that somebody else slaps a label on, but how can somebody move through a state of being and shift it? If I got this far, it doesn't mean it's the end. And now I need, medical intervention for the rest of my life. Again, to what you were saying about fear, I think we've come through this, I'm a Gen Xer too. It's there are a lot of rules. There are a lot of hard yeses, hard nos. It's this way or that way. And I think that structure supported us for a long time, but the world is really changing. And sometimes I'm where are the rules? And other times I'm okay, now it's like a water phase. We got to learn to row the boat. We got to ride the waves. There's a lot more to it. But I think the benefit of these changes is that when you recognize that you can be in stagnation or flow, connection or disconnection, you start to recognize that actually you're the captain of your own ship and that you don't need to reach outside of yourself for answers or rules because you're cultivating what I would call discernment and what I then call a state of coherence in the body. So if you can move through highs and lows in a much more regulated way, you can move through, like a pendulum, states of coherence and balance that keep you connected to discernment and wisdom and listening to intuition and understanding that states are temporary and that you can move through them. And that if you're in a state of fear, you're more apt to believe that something is fixed or permanent or needs some kind of rescue outside of you. And, I don't know what your relationship is with God or somebody else's. It's a very personal thing. But for me, and this is a very big anchor in terms of the work that I do with people, it's sort of let's find this stuck spot where you're in stagnation because there's something going on between your emotional state and your biology that's not working together. And they're feeding each other in the wrong way, right? They're not working in collaboration. They're working separate from each other. But are you sourcing, capital S, your divine light, God's light, that when you plug into that, you have enough energy to do anything, to overcome anything, to be anything, to believe in anything. It is part of our human experience to have ups and downs. If you, again, I'll use the sailing analogy. If you're the captain of a ship, you can sail the calm waters. Can you sail the choppy waters, right? Or do you find the channels that take you out of that? You've got to learn to sail the choppy waters and know that you can, and that you will, and that if you encounter a struggle, you can get over it. You can get through it. You don't need to call for help every single time, right? When we ask for help or we need resources, it's because we want to be independent and we need someone to help us move through a problem, not keep us held back or do something for us. So like I was saying before, it's really nuanced, but also maybe it's very simple in that how can we come back to our innate wisdom and source from God, from the universe, whatever your connection is, the amount of light that's the energy and vitality that our cells need to biologically operate correctly in a state of balance and a state of coherence, so that our thinking and our feelings and our bodies can move and be, and we can be fully expressed in our life. And also, how do we do that when we are sometimes also holding permanent states of being that might be a diagnosis, a disease, or hardships or challenges, right? You might have something physical, I have something circumstantial. One isn't better than the other because there are still ways that we can row this boat regardless of our circumstances and have the same feelings and access to source and to light. And that light is what fuels and fills us. And so back to what you asked about light, what are we rounding our spine toward? What are our eyes looking at all day? What kind of light are we under that's hitting our skin and in the atmosphere that we can't see? Have we gotten so divorced from who we are spiritually that we are just okay with living in artificial light? Or can we remember who we are, alchemize the technology, use it benevolently, but also be outside in the world? And that's as literal and figurative as you want it to be. But where are you sourcing your light would be the question.
Okay. There's truthfully a lot there. And I do like the way that you make sure that you let everybody know that, look, everyone is different. Healing paths have there is a healing path. How you get there has got to be in your comfort zone. It can't be something, this is the way you've got to do it. Somebody else can't tell you the way to do it. You've got to be able to find your own way to do it. You've got to be yourself. And that's one of the things that we always try to let people know, is that you have got to find your you. You've got to be you. I can't ask you to be me and expect you to be me. So, and why would you want to be me? But, second word is one that I told you about this when we talked before. A word, and I'm very familiar with the word light, the light as well, because of the world that my wife runs in, and it means something very, very similar. Obviously, it means the same thing, but she's one of those that she is out there gardening. She's always, when she gets a break from work, she goes, she looks in the garden, she does all this, and she does it with her shoes off, because the next word is grounding.
So if we think about the spine and how it's connected to the brain, it's like a tree. And so we need to anatomically anchor into the earth in order to lengthen and neutrally align with the light above us. So when you have your bare feet, you can have your hands in the garden, you can touch a tree, but bare feet to the ground, the more you can just be connected to earth, the more you have this energetic cycle of it's electrons and protons, but it's energetically, it's like letting go and then taking what you need and letting go and then taking what you need. So it just cultivates that neutrality that the body needs in order to heal, to hear signal, and to hold balance and coherence. So yeah, get grounded, right? If you're wearing sneakers, those rubber soles are not connected to the earth. They're interfering, they're repelling, or they're not allowing the grounding energies or your connection to the earth. So again, like, is it bad to wear sneakers? No. But think about all, like, if you give yourself a chance to get outside and just put your feet into the earth, you're giving yourself a chance to fill in the blank, right? To, resonate with something natural. If that's it, that's enough.
You know what? It's so crazy to me, because I just thought of this as you and I were sitting here and we were talking about this. As a kid, I used to go everywhere without shoes. I was in Kansas. I stepped on so many stickers as a kid, the hot pavement, all that stuff. Used to always running around with no shoes. Now as an adult, I hate being barefooted. I cannot stand it. It's something that drives me crazy, just to even walk from my desk to my living room, which is 2 rooms over. I don't like sitting at my desk barefooted. And it's just, it's a comfort thing. I don't know if it's because I stepped on a nail. I don't know if it's because I was a messy kid and I stepped on too many Legos. I don't know what it is. But how would you tell someone like me to maybe take baby steps to make this happen?
Yep. Same idea, titration. And you said it, baby steps. Can you sit on a chair outside and have a cup of coffee and put your feet down on the grass while you're sitting on the chair drinking the coffee right there? You don't have to go running barefoot through a forest, because that's certainly going to trigger the whoop, I might step on a nail fear. But you can, walk to your car and get something out of it, or check the mail, or just kind of stand outside and stand in one place and just kind of be out there for a couple of minutes. And, it's as simple as that. And I think you said something that resonated in terms of sometimes we're coming back home to ways that we've consciously or subconsciously abandoned ourselves or adapted or coped or whatever. And if it feels good to have sneakers on, like, that's a good thing to feel. And if it feels hard to take them off and bring your feet outside, that's an important thing to notice. And if there's resistance there, that's also important to notice. If you can do it once, every day to get the mail, see what happens. And then you can start to notice, do I like this? Do I want my feet to touch something? Do I want to move my toes more? Do I want to spread my toes out? And then we can sort of look at it anatomically too, and from a yoga perspective of like, how can I stand and feel grounded and steady in my feet and in my legs and in my hips? Because then there's the development. This is a kind of a giant leap, but it's also small stepping it. But this principle of we have to root to rise. We have to be anchored to express. So sometimes we've given up on our legs, or we're mad at our body in some ways, whether it's in the hips or the legs or the knees or the injuries from whatever. And we forget that we need to really establish through our feet our anchor system and our connection to roots, rooting down and standing firmly so that we can feel free to grow. And so you would think of it like when you plant a seed, you plant the seed and then you water it, and then it takes some time to establish a root system. And your feet are like that too. The more you take them outside, even if it's just 10 seconds, and then again tomorrow, you're kind of just cultivating a root system for your body. And then from a sensory point of view, they're kind of establishing a new way to anchor. And then you have this trust that you're building through the muscular system, the skeletal system, the fascial system, and the breath system of the body, where you have trust and faith in how your lower half supports you. And then you're feeling more supported. So there is like I don't know if that sounds esoteric, but there's a lot of scaffolding to this that supports pain, supports faith, supports trust, supports self-love and care. And back to the seed analogy, it's like eventually the roots take shape and they take hold in the ground, and then you start to see the root system come up, and then you see how steady that is, and then the flower can emerge. But all of that has to happen because of the roots, the stem. I think of that as the spine, and then the flowering is sort of like we're have enough energy to be who we are, and not focusing on like the roots and and the seed, the stuff that happens underground.
One of the other things that you help people with, and you've had you've had your own battles with experiencing it, but were addiction to medications. And what do you do to help people through medication addiction? I opened up to you and I told you I have my demons with medications. And I'm very honest about it. I don't hide from it from anybody. I would never do that. I believe in, being who you are, warts and all. I'm not proud of it, and that's not what I'm trying to say here, but you do help people battle through this with all of your program, right?
I do. And just to clarify, I don't have substance abuse history. It's not me. It's somebody else that was in my life.
Yeah, that's why I tried to say experience. I didn't want to get into the woods with it.
Yeah.
But you've experienced that life with an addict.
Yes. And it's I think what I can say is that like you feel a lot of emotions that maybe are yours and maybe aren't. You question your ability to love and what the act of love means and how much of yourself you are giving in order to accomplish, anything, basic things throughout a day. And I think for me, because I got sick and then I got better and I had to change my terrain and my lifestyle and come back to a sense of who I was, through all of it, I've learned a lot about forgiveness. I've learned a lot about what it means to have expectations of other people. And I think as hard as it is, we all have our battles to fight. I think that, people are in our lives for our purpose and our reasons. So like my experience might not be somebody else's impact of that person. And so that was like a big healing for me. And I think like we're all doing the best we can. People have demons. People really struggle and suffer. It is heartbreaking to see somebody struggling and suffering that is not conscious of it or not wanting to change. And I think for me, it was about recognizing that like, it's really not my place to die trying to fix someone else. But how can I appreciate the light in that person, even though they're shrouded in darkness? How can I love them anyway? Because, we're in each other's lives. And also, how can I radically love myself and keep myself whole, healthy, and safe so that I can set the right boundaries if and when they're needed? And that it's really not personal. It's not personal. Somebody else's struggles are not personal. That took me a long time to understand. So again, like 10 years into the woods, 10 years out of the woods, I'm not a perfect person. Nobody is. I really needed to shore up my own issues around shame and control and fear and love and caretaking. And I've learned so many lessons. I grieve because you want people that you've loved or love to not feel the pain that they're in. And then also you don't want to be the whipping post for somebody else's pain. So it's definitely tricky. But your journey is yours, mine is mine, his is his, hers is hers. And that's a level of respect that we all deserve, even if it's messy and hard. So, if you asked me this question 5 years ago, I don't think I would have given this answer. It's a process for me. But if you can fortify yourself and love yourself then somebody else's pain and their demons won't trigger or impact you in such a way that it will pull you out of yourself and your life. And whether you stay in a relationship with someone or not, it's none of my business. And I don't really have an opinion as to whether or not that's a good idea or not a good idea. I think we really just have all of us have our own personal work to do. And there's some other reason why, it's not my problem to solve. It's not my problem to fix. Yes, I might feel like, oh, I wish it were different. But that still only comes from a place of like, I wish we all weren't suffering so much because of this. It's not because I want to change you or fix you or make you something that you are not.
Yeah, Robin, look, I truly believe, as we were talking about earlier, Robin's story can help you. It cannot heal you, because that's Robin's story. It can give you ideas. It can give you a pathway that you can look at. But it's not going to give you the will to get where you need without you putting the effort behind it, without you constructing your own road. She first off, if she tells you exactly what to do, it's not going to work for you. It's just not. Because again, I am not you. She is not you. You are you. You are completely different than we are. Our situations could be very similar, but there's one huge difference. What happened to Robin happened to Robin. What I go through, I go through. What you go through, you go through. Our lives are completely different. Completely different. So the pathway to healing and health and happiness, it's got to be different, because that is life. So, the strength for you to be able to talk about it, the strength for you to be able to, live your story and continue, let's be honest. Others have not had that strength, and they are no longer with us, or they are shut down, or they're in worse places. And I'm not telling everybody to go out and talk, about your situation. If you're not able to, that's fine, but consider listening, because listening is the first, could be the first step in healing. So, what did we miss, Robin? I know that we talked about a lot of things, but what did we miss today that you want to make sure we get out there?
Gosh, we had a really good comprehensive conversation. I'm not sure we missed a thing.
Well, that's good. That's kind of what this is all about. And just to let everybody know, the QR code right above Robin's head is because she is a brand new giving partner. She has joined the Community Pay It Forward family, which means every time you do any business and you get a hold of Robin, my suggestion is get a hold of Robin, have a wonderful conversation with her, because you're going to have a wonderful conversation with her, and decide, is this business that fits me? And if you do any business with Robin, when she gives you that invoice, take that invoice, come back to communitypayitforward.us, find a mission partner that you love, and attach that invoice to that community or that mission partner, because Robin is going to give a portion of your business back to us, and we are going to put that towards a donation for something that you care about. Robin doesn't decide. I don't decide. You decide. Your heart decides who you support. So, Robin, welcome to the family. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate your openness, your story, all about it. I've got one final question for you, and then I'll let you go and get on with your day. Actually, it's a two-part question, but first part of the question is, what can we do to help you today? The second part of the question is, what would you be willing to do to help someone else?
Ah, so sweet. Yeah, thank you. Well, this conversation has been so helpful to me, and if anybody's interested in having sessions or working with me. I do this work one-on-one. I do some group work and stuff, but if you want to take this journey, I would love the chance to meet you and to talk with you and to set up a plan where we can have these conversations and these sessions and get you kind of to a more neutral place where you can love yourself and not be so affected by everybody else's drama. Because that's really the point, right? That we can stand tall and shine our light regardless of what's going on around us, because so that, like your business model, we can always remember that, you know, the impact of our heart and how we can be of service to others is medicine for anything that we're going through. And, you know, all boats lift in a rising tide. So the chance to, you know, meet more people, for me to bring my work forward and do the sessions is something, it would be so great for me. I would appreciate that so much. And I think too, like any way that I can give back or help others, I would be happy to do that. So let me know. And I love to brainstorm ways to do that.
Look, you may never have given this a second thought, but maybe now's the time to check it out, just to see what it's about. It never hurts. There's also one other way that you can get a hold of Robin, and that is by saying, Zach, I saw the interview. Can you please give us a one-on-one introduction? And I will do that. So all you have to do is reach out to me. I will make an introduction to Robin. She's a beautiful person, beautiful story, and beautiful gift that she's willing to share with you, including a wonderful story that is going to help others get through the struggles they're currently going through. And remember, this isn't something that's just going to work for somebody who's having issues with one type of a problem. These are things that can work no matter what you're stuck with. If you're having problems at work, breathing, the light, the grounding can help you get over the anger and the stress and the frustration at work. This is, and I don't want this taken out of context, this is really a one method, helps all. Not fixes all, helps all. So, you know, reach out to Robin and have, like I said, have that wonderful conversation, because I guarantee you it will be a wonderful conversation. Robin, how do people get a hold of you?
Sure. I'm sure there's this QR code and your website, but also you can find me at my website, www.mywayom.com, MYWAYOM, and you can contact me there. There's a form to fill out. You can email me, and you can definitely get in touch with me through the website.
Well, Robin, I've got one more thing to ask you to do, and please make sure that if you ever have any specials that you want to talk about or anything else, you get a hold of me and we can have you back on. Please let me know how we can continue to move forward and help you spread the magic that you spread. This truly is a wonderful thing. I appreciate it, and I just cannot express enough how happy I am. You are with the family. So thank you for being part of the. Thank you for being a sister in giving, and thank you for being.
No problem, and thank you so much, Zach. I really enjoyed this conversation, and I'm so happy to be part of the family. I look forward to the future.
The future. Yeah, we'll be back real quick. We're going to talk about a few more things, and then we're going to call it an evening. So stick with us. We'll be right back. So thank you all very much. This is Robin's page. This is what it looks like. It has all the information that you would like. You can find all the information by going to the link below. Very simply, okay? And let me see if I can take and do this. Right up here, you're going to see that what can we do to help you? What can we help you find? If you come into here and you just type in, we'll just go my way. You know what? It's going to pop up right here, my way home, or my card, tutor my math, the weight of hate. You know, this is a really good way for you to go on ahead and during the restructure, this is a great way for you to utilize this and try to find the stuff that you are looking for. I mean, there are you can use keywords, website, and it'll take you to our websites, the virtual assistants. If somebody's got on there, that they build websites, it's going to be on there. So, coaching is another way. So you want to check out our buddy Frank Monteforte. Monteforte, sorry. You just put in Frank, and FJM life coaching is right there. Very simple to find people. This new format is working great for what we're trying to do. I just need you to please do me a favor. Visit www.communitypayitforward.us and help me by beta testing the home page. Beta test the whole website if you would. That would be a great help to us, and that way we can try to, fix anything that you see wrong. I want to take and thank you very much for sitting through the new explanation of the one-pager for the giving partners. I also want to apologize for eating peanut butter while I was watching Robin's interview, because now my mouth is very dry. But use this QR code. Join the family today. Okay? We have a, special going on. Look, if you join the family right now, if you pay the 120 or 150 for the seedling package, you get the rest of this year and all of next year included. If you go with Catalyst or the Impact Pioneer package, you don't pay again for 2.5 years. Okay? We're trying to make a go of this. If you get the community package, you get 1.5 years. So it's definitely a way that we're trying to make a difference here. So help us out, help us help others. Let's come together. Let's do a great thing. Use this extra time. Let's build our program. Let's build your profile. Let's tell people your story. Hey everybody, my name is Zach Clayton. I am the founder and president of Community Pay It Forward, the Come Together Compass Impact Podcasting. I want you to know that none of this is possible without you. We are Community Pay It Forward. We are the Come Together Compass. Thanks to you, I have podcasting networks. I need you to do me a favor. Like, share, subscribe. Let's get people on the channel. Donate if and when you can. I will make you a producer of the show, which means when we start to do the outro, your name will be added to that show. Anybody who donates, you donate $20 or more, you're a donor for a year. Okay, so please help us out. Donate where you can. I need you to please remember to love someone out there, because someone out here loves you. No one needs to go it alone, because we're all here. And if you're not helping someone, you're hurting everyone. So make sure that you stand with us. Let's go hand in hand down these difficult pathways and make sure nobody has to go it alone when we all come together. If you are in the Colorado area, Northern Colorado area, November 8th is getting here quickly. Let's get together. Let's get some books and board games in local hospitals and help kids during a very difficult time of their lives.
Every day, someone in our community is facing a challenge they shouldn't have to face alone. Your business can change that. When you join the community Pay It Forward family, your kindness becomes action, and your sales becomes hope. For as little as $20 a month, you help guide families, nonprofits, and neighbors from crisis to stability. One small step, one powerful mission, one community coming together. Join the family today. Visit the website or scan the code and become a business where people can shop with purpose and support with heart.
Bring me home, out alone, to show me the way. You wanna hold the heart of Sunset Boulevard. Bring me here, 'cause it's not quite clear to be a part of Sunset Boulevard.